Greetings once again, mages, and welcome back to Fairy Tale, the 100 Years Quest. Previously, it was Jalal versus God Serena, where God Serena used the power of the Dog Dragon to essentially use Jalal's very inner darkness, his negative feelings and emotions, to essentially eat away at him from the inside out. It was through the power of flashback that we learned that Jalal was actually Seagrain. He was born Seagrain from the start, and after his father had died, he promised his mother that he would do his best to go to an elite school, become part of the Magic Council, and become someone great to hopefully protect her one day. Unfortunately, much like for Urza, the followers of Zareth came to his town, slaughtered his mother, and captured him. As a prisoner, Jalal started to disassociate. It was very apparent when we were first introduced to the whole Jalal Seagrain Tower of Heaven situation that Jalal was not quite all there, and it was through the trauma of everything that happened to him that he created the personality of Jalal. Someone strong enough to deal with what he was going through, but also someone who ultimately broke to said darkness. But Jalal has continued on with his vow to rise above his darkness and do something greater for those he cares about and who care about him. And once again embracing the light that is Fairy Tale and everyone he is allied with, he is able to push past his very own limits and take down God Serena, killing him yet again. And so another member of Gold Owl falls. Who will be the next to be taken down? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, chapter 145, versus World. Not the world, just world. And it's gotta be an Urza chapter, hopefully, because you got Urza snowboarding against one of the, what were they called? The Lapan? On Drum Island in One Piece. The giant buff bunnies. But a very nice shot nonetheless. Yep, sure enough, we pick up with Urza facing off 2v1 against the Signario sisters. Lusso smiles and asks, "Hey, can I do it now?" And he confirms saying, "Do it." And Lusso raises her hand saying, "Okay." And she begins to manipulate the land around Urza, summoning these creatures, long and deformed, that come spiraling towards Urza. Ooh. She leaps between the creatures, ducking, diving, and dodging. We almost even get a panty shot. But she managed to avoid the gnawing maws of these creatures. Lusso then holds her hands out like a gun saying, "Take this." And we then see Urza in shock. Ooh, as a giant spring plush bunny just double fists her right in the face. Lusso then snaps her fingers, summoning a myriad of giant spiked and heavy objects right above Urza. She spots this, and then Urza uses her re-equip. Ooh, the adamantine armor, in order to block this. And we never see her use the adamantine armor. When was the last time she used that? Wasn't that against, I want to say the last real time she used it was with the Phantom Lord? Was that it? Or did she use that more recently? I'm trying not to confuse stuff with the anime, but I love actually seeing her utilize her ability. Lusso's shocked saying, "Her armor chains." Annie is nonplussed saying, "Armor alchemy? No, magic, I suppose." Lusso then has a devious look as she licks her lips saying, "But this is my world." She snaps her fingers yet again saying, "Here." Oh, what cute underwear. Or is that a bikini? But to be able to manipulated Urza's re-equip. Puts Urza in a bikini. Urza is shocked and slightly embarrassed, but she quickly loses her footing as the heavy spiked heart comes crushing down on her. But Urza still has her sword skills as she uses it to slice through the object, only for a giant plush bear to come in with a friggin' left hook right to Urza's body. Urza cries out while Lusso twirls and sings, "This is my world. You can't beat me here." And Annie just laughs to herself. Urza manages to maintain her footing as she slides back from the strike, saying, "Then I just need to destroy this world." Well, she asks it more as a question. Then I just need to destroy this world? She says it with determination in her eyes. Lusso is shocked as Urza once again uses Requip. Ooh, there we go. Summoning the Wheel of Heaven armor, using sacred petals. Very beautiful. Sending a flurry of blades in every direction. Much to Lusso's shock, Urza strikes out at everything in the surrounding area. It's probably for the best that she was working alone on this one. And he is shocked, saying she's destroying your world as the destruction continues. But Lusso gets serious, saying no, she can't possibly keep up with my world alchemy. Jeez, how broken that sounds. World alchemy. So Lusso summons more and more deranged, gigantic plushies, all surrounding Urza. But Urza is undeterred. Now, this is the woman who defeated 100 demons, or demonic creatures, during the Grand Magic Games. This is the woman who, with her bones shattered, busted, and broken, she still sliced through a meteor. You can't beat Urza. Well, you can, but she'll just come back later. And she just easily slices through everything and anything. Like, Urza is just letting it rip like a freaking bladed Beyblade across the field. Lusso gets more and more frazzled, questioning, her powers of destruction are stronger? And he tells her sister, calm down, Lusso. But Lusso, she's still losing it, saying, no, big sis, I can't lose to someone like her. And she shouts, I'll show you my true power. Crazy world alchemy. Now the constructs that Lusso summon aren't looking like plushies, but simply like monsters. Demented, deranged, deformed. But Urza, she still has that look of determination in her eyes. She slices through each and every one of them like they were nothing. And Urza sees her moment. She confronts Lusso, readies her sword, gets in close. Lusso has no time to think. Annie calls out for her sister. Urza cuts Lusso down with a flurry of strikes. Lusso begins to lose consciousness as Annie watches on. As Lusso falls to the ground, her last words are big sis. And as Annie calls out to her, Annie's rage boils over. The land around both her and Urza distorts and contorts, I should say, into a hellscape beyond imagination. This is like some Doom shit. Urza looks around in awe at the insanity of the visuals around her as Lusso's clothing begins to change. Annie's clothing begins to change. Her demeanor goes back to her more stoic form as she simply says, no more cheap tricks. I'll fight you. As Urza sees this, she shudders. Urza thinks to herself, this feeling, light, envelops Annie. As Urza calls out, you, and dark, demonic, and distorted armor forms around Annie. I keep wanting to call her Lusso because Lusso did so much of the work up until now. And Annie uses Requip magic to summon the armor of destruction. And Urza is shocked, saying, you have the same magic as me? You're a wizard? You're a wizard, Harry. Okay then. It's not like they don't have wizards, but is it that Annie can use both alchemy and magic? Because, it's not as though they've been made mutually exclusive. It has been hard to pin down what Annie's abilities are. It makes sense that at least one of them is at least decent at close quarters combat, because if it's simply about manipulating the world around them, you have to think. That's the thing. That's the biggest downfall. If you're up and against an opponent who's fast enough to get to you before you have time to act, think, invoke whatever you're doing, you're done. Much like we saw with Lusso here. The moment Lusso started getting frazzled, she was done. Because all Urza really had to do was just power through. And I do like the fact that Urza just went in for the just AoE, area of effect attacks. Just send swords in every direction, because if the world is your enemy, destroy the world. Though, it's one of those things where we've seen them use certain abilities that should negate this. I mean, Lusso just before, with a snap of her finger, was able to put Urza in a bikini. From her adamantine armor to a bikini. Why couldn't she do that with the heavenly wheel armor? Or is it simply that she didn't think of it in the moment? Because we've seen perpetually, with a lot of these fights, it is simply that a lot of these guys keep overestimating themselves and choosing to attack with something that the hero is just able to power through, and the moment they power through something that the villain wasn't ready for them to power through, they're done. Like that. Game over, man. But I am curious to see whether or not this is a situation where cool, she created this hellscape, awesome fight background, but is it simply just that? Because I'm still curious about how the sisters' ability works, and do they work in conjunction with each other? Like, it's felt like one of them distorts the world, and the other manipulates that distortion. That's what it's felt like, but I'm not certain at this point. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How did you feel about the defeat of Lusso? And do you feel like Eni has what it takes to go head to head with Urza? Because just because she has the same kind of ability as Urza, we've seen plenty of mages in Fairy Tail take on people with very similar abilities to them. So, like, it's happened so often that it's just like, oh, Eni can use Requip? Hope you got some cool armor. Like, that's about as far as that goes for me. I mean, we see Natsu, Lucy, Gray face off against people with pretty much damn near the exact same type of abilities as them, just with some twist on it. And it's not as though Requip is, unique too much. It's just that, as far as I can remember, I think there's only been a few occasions where someone has whipped out the knight, Requip armor the knight against Urza, and she always beats them easily. Easier than most others who face off against similar abilities to them. So let's see if Eni's got the juice. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.